You jamming out, Josh?
Yeah, there's some really cool music.
Yeah, it's from Apple.
It's not cool music.
Oh, I think that's biased. Anyways, it's the Mother's Day edition of the podcast, which we wanted to do last year. But I don't think we were even recording in May last year, or it was inconsistent, or I don't know. And yeah, so these are me and Josh's moms.
Hello, I'm Jen, Josh's mom.
I'm Captain Taylor's mom
Okay.
and Josh's mom.
Yeah.
Fighting over
We're two moms.
So nice. Yeah, it was just mentioned right before we started that we've known Josh since he was 12. He was short, and when he ran, he looked funny.
I was in 6th grade, and I still look funny in general.
Nice.
Do you agree with these statements, Mom?
No, I don't.
The wrong parent on the podcast to make fun of me.
Interesting.
Or you guys
So-
could do Father's Day, and you guys would have the right guys on.
Yeah, you
Yep.
would, but we have them both.
That sounds like abuse.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. Anyways, so what was it like raising Josh?
It was exciting.
Sure.
I loved it. I had wanted a child all my life, wanted a family, and his birth was a complete miracle. So I was 35 when I had him, and it's just been a lot of fun, and it's been a real privilege. I mean, there's hard times, but everything's worth it.
Nice. What do you think about that, Josh? Has it been fun being your mother's child?
It has indeed.
That's a profound thought, Josh.
How was it raising Taylor? That sounds awful.
Huh? Great.
Nice. Why?
What? No. Good. Taylor was very easy to raise. Very easy. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. God blessed us like that. Had nothing to do with me, because I'm a heathen. So God just blessed us with a good son. So he was very easy to raise, and still to this day, very easygoing, very humble kid.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
Yeah, you see?
Nice.
No.
Okay.
What's your favorite Taylor story? We're both moms. Do you have a Taylor story?
Well, I have the one where you guys got lost on the park for like an hour.
Nah. That was my dad's fault. I was where I was supposed to be. And then, have we told the story in the podcast? I feel like we might have. I don't know.
I think you might have at the beginning.
Well,
maybe
we
you
could
have.
tell it again and get you guys' perspective.
Yeah.
So, me and Josh were going to play soccer with some of my friends at a park, like 30, 40 minutes away. And my dad gave us a ride because I wasn't driving yet. And then I think we went to the bathroom, and then we went and found him. Now, this is a huge park. Like, it's on, like, 3 hills that keep going down, and there's fields on all of them. So it's all the way in the deepest hill. Now, this hill is maybe...
It's an unmarked field. It's not
Honestly,
specifically for soccer.
maybe like an 1/8 or a 1/6 of a mile away from a lake. And it was in 2020 with all the BLM rights. And my dad was half asleep. So maybe we were in more danger driving there than anything. But we were supposed to be. And then I go over, we're getting water, taking a break. And like there's a million missed calls and messages on my phone. And even Josh's brother is calling me. And the only person that called Josh was the cops.
Yeah.
So,
I had 3 phone calls from the cops and 1 random person.
yeah. And everyone thought I was missing. Some of my friends told me they cried because they thought I was dead. I'm like, you know, so, yeah.
It was scary because the cops came over and talked to Taylor, and I thought I would need to find a new ride home.
I know, I saw them coming, and I thought, am I like some illegal alien they're looking for? I don't know. And then they're like, "Are you Taylor?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And like, "Is this you?" And then they show me a picture of my birthday that year, my 16th birthday, and I'm holding the cake. And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Am I about to be arrested?" And then it clicked because they're like, "Your dad doesn't know where you are." And I turned around and through the fence, and then a baseball field and another fence, and there's my dad standing across the baseball fields from me. I'm like, and then we had to have this whole dramatic ordeal of my mom crying and everyone's hugging me and everyone thought I was gone. I'm like, it was simply where I was supposed to be the whole time, and nothing happened.
But you
It
know
was
you were
all
loved.
fake fear. But yeah, I guess that is true. But yeah, I'm innocent. Everyone says I got lost or I went missing. It's like, no, I was where I was supposed to be. My parents just misplaced me somewhere. I don't know.
I did not misplace him. No. I was at home. Were you the first one I called? I think
Yeah,
I did
I
call you
think
first
so,
because
yeah.
Josh was with Taylor. Yeah, so I was at home and Jose texted me and he's like, "I can't find your son." And I was like, "What do you mean you can't find your son? You guys went to soccer." He's like, "I can't." And then his next text was like, "Call the police." And I was like, oh my gosh, if you guys know Jose, he's pretty much in charge and cool, calm, collective, everything's okay. Tells me to call the police, and I was like, what just happened? And so I called the police, and they're asking me all these questions. I'm like, I don't know nothing. What was he wearing? I think I had an idea, but I forgot exactly at this point. But that was it. And so I freaked out, and I called Jen. And then Jen and her neighbor at the time, Jamie, came over and we were praying. And then some other friends came, we were all praying and they brought donuts. And then all of a sudden, they walked in and they were there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But it's not a feeling you ever want to feel.
Yeah, but just also again to demonstrate that my dad was not, that he was apparently impaired.
Yes,
He was like, okay, my son's missing. I don't know where he is. I'll look for him for 15 minutes and then tell someone else who's not even here, has no idea, to call the cops. It's like, what?
Yes.
Like, oh, my son's missing. Hey, you, can you call the cops? Like,
Yeah.
And not blaming my dad. I just love demonstrating my innocence in this, because this is one scenario where I have absolutely no fault, and I'm proud of it.
I too.
Because normally most things go both ways. I was where I was supposed to be, and I'm very happy.
I witnessed this entire thing. It was pretty special, except for the fact that no one cared where I was.
It even made his best man speech at my wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
When you panic, you can't think things through a lot
Right.
of times. It's just you're thinking survival, fight or flight.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
Favorite year? Oh, your favorite Taylor story.
Oh gosh. I don't know. That favorite story of yours?
There's just so many.
I know.
It's like, wow.
Oh, okay. When we first started homeschooling him, and he would get up in the mornings and he would get dressed and he button-up shirt, plaid. He went into his room. We lived in an apartment. We homeschooled at the breakfast dinner table, and then he went into his room, and I was like, Taylor, we're going to start school or whatever. And he comes out all dressed like he was leaving, and I'm like, what's wrong? Because he looked kind of, and I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, I missed the school bus. And I was like, what? I mean, he was like, was it first grade? Maybe?
6,
Yeah, so, probably like six. Yeah, it was probably kindergarten, first grade. And yeah, we're in the apartment and he comes out, he all dressed, and he's like, yeah, I missed the school bus. So I was like, okay, there we go. So that's the story.
I got wished a happy Mother's Day by a lot of dudes, so I got my favorite Taylor story. I have to stand up for this one. What's the YouTube channel?
When you
Are you?
Alright.
Yeah,
just Wingin.
yeah. Copy and paste the name of the YouTube, and you get to watch my demonstration of my favorite Taylor story. It's when he played
Here's
soccer.
Josh.
So when he would score a goal, he told me this. I wasn't there for this. but he would hit the whip and then go into a dab.
Yes.
That's my favorite Taylor story.
Yes.
You've seen a video of it once, right?
I think you showed me a video, but I don't remember.
We have it on
like. And, your
And then my
sports
dad
stars.
told me basically that celebrating was evil or something. It was this whole big thing. And then they told me to stop starting fights.
That's what I was going to say. Taylor would always be very aggressive on the soccer field and wanting to fight.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if they want to be mean and pushy, then I'd push them back. Because I knew how to use my body, and even if I couldn't win a real fight on the soccer field, I knew how to move people out of my way. And I really liked annoying them so much that the ref would notice and know that they were the bad guy. That way, if anything happened, it was like they were mad the whole game, and I was just an innocent party.
What about when Juan got yelled at until he slid tackled him?
Okay, yeah, that was the second closest we've ever been to a fight. The first one, you were on the team. It was the homeschool evac team. And we had an 8th grader playing with us who's a good 2 feet shorter than most of the guys. And one of these guys pushed him. It's actually on the GCU campus. And actually, David was there. I don't know if he saw this because he wasn't there the whole time. But yeah, David, our friend, was there. And yeah, so we all roll up and I push this guy that did it. And my other friend pushes them, and then we then realize that we're outnumbered because our defense is, because this happened about midfield. Our defense is way over there. Their defense was in action stopping one of our attacks, so everyone was already there. And so, yeah, we got a good few pushes in, and then all of our guys were rolling up, and then the ref somehow broke it up. Because, yeah, it was about to go off, and it was totally justified.
What about Noah? Noah almost got in a really big fight. It was in our club when we didn't win a game.
Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, those guys were always trying to fight. It was on that team. They just thought they were so
Fought each
cool.
other, fought the coach.
Fought the other team.
I did watch girls. Our girls team for my school had a whole bunch of fights this year. It was pretty fun.
Nice.
They were pretty awful.
So what's your favorite Josh story?
Oh gosh. I don't know. Probably when he tells us his goose duck story. That story circulated quite around. But I just remember when we first met you guys. Like I can still see Josh walking onto the field. And then I remember you, Jen, when you came onto the field and you had like your book bag. Like you had a bag and it was full of books. And I think you were teaching it at that time, so you were grading papers or something. And so I can still see you guys walking across the field, and I was like, oh. And then to see that Josh was Taylor's best man, I'm just like I would have never saw that coming. Like I never thought that their friendship would
Neither would we.
would be what it is now.
That was so awesome because there was such a big age gap between Josh and the rest of the players.
Right.
And they just took him under their wing. And I was kind of worried because all the kids are huge.
Took a year, but yeah, I guess.
I'm sorry to laugh. Yeah, the first season, no one liked him.
No.
I didn't even like him.
No. And now.
Yeah, we've talked about this on the podcast.
No.
Yeah, no one liked him because at that point it was middle school and everyone was cool based off how good they were at soccer, unless it was me because I didn't go to real school and didn't know all these things. So yeah, so it was kind of a group of all these cool kids, and then there was me, and then there was like Josh and like 2 other players. And then the next season, Josh was only one of the only people to come back, and so I started paying better attention. Also, he was just funny. Even the season before, I started to be nicer to him. Because back then I wasn't really the most Christian person. And so, yeah. But then one time, I don't even know. I was just like, Josh, what's the motivation for the game?
We were going to lose.
What'd you
that
say,
game.
Josh? What'd you say?
I said my friend jumped in a hole and didn't come out.
You're
He
what?
laughed,
I
and
thought
we
it was
became
funny.
friends.
What'd you say?
I said my friend jumped in a hole and he never came out.
Yeah, I gotta say that Josh has this dry humor. Like he'll say things and you know they're funny, but he just has like the most serious face when he says it. And you're like, is he trying to be funny?
Well, yeah, that's
serious.
what makes
He
him
just has
funny.
this really dry humor.
And half the time, it's not even what he says; it's just how he says it. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It went on for like 3 years where every single game, and it got to almost every practice. Like, Josh, what's happening in Soviet Russia? Because I would be like, in America, you drive on road. In Soviet Russia, roads drive on you. And then he'd be like, what's the motivational practice? Motivation.
But then, I don't know if I got bored of it, he got bored of it, but he just started saying the same thing, so I stopped asking.
Yeah, well,
But
I
we
mean,
were
you
already
run out
friends
of
at that
things.
point, so.
Your friend can only jump in a hole and not connect somebody.
Nice.
True.
So what's your favorite Josh story?
That's really hard to decide. I loved watching him in your wedding and being the best man. It's because I could see him now being a man himself, you know, and you're being a man and getting married and all that fun stuff. But one thing I loved when he was little is he and Christian would come and play in bed with us, and he and Christian would take all their 50 to 100 stuffed animals and throw them on our bed and call it Noah's Ark and then jump in there with us.
Don't got no stuffed animals no more.
Yeah.
But they're in your heart.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh. I kept 4 of them and they all got glued to my wall somehow, like heat. I don't know, they had to get thrown away. Well, actually, I think I gave away the big dog. But Winnie the Pooh was, half of them were stuck to my wall and I scraped them off.
Glued him to the wall?
Well, no, they sat in my closet, and I think the pressure from like other stuff being on top of them, like glued them to the wall. And once I peeled him off, and his back came off, and I knew it was time for him to go.
Yeah, I kept at least 2 of my stuffed animals. I know for sure.
Yeah. Taylor, we lived on the second story when he had just turned 1. And when we left, and we probably still have that bag somewhere around here, I had a navy blue mesh bag.
No, we don't. And I'll tell the story. It's tragic.
The bag?
No, we don't have that bag.
Because it's tragic that we don't have it?
Yes, I was very mad. Continue.
Okay, we don't have it no more. Anyways, but I would have to, like, my mom still remembers, I would have to, like, footballs, soccer balls, anything. So there I was, I had him, bringing him down the second story, these cement stairs, I remember. Had him a diaper bag, and I had to have him, and then I had to have this bag just full of all these balls that we had to take everywhere we went.
Imagine not setting the law with your child. Can't believe it.
What happened to the bag?
Okay, well, the bag became the penny bag with our soccer team. And I always kept track of it, and I always knew where it was. Well, one day, with this dumb team that just thought they were cool and never wanted to do anything, it was a couple years later. It's the last season with the people who always wanted to fight. We never got in a fight, but yeah. So we're supposed to be picking up all the stuff, and then they left the bag there, and it wasn't there the next day. And then Dad tried to blame me because, like, I'm responsible for the stuff or something. Like, no one's pulling their weight, and then they lost my bag from my childhood. It was sad.
I do remember that bag. I was gonna say, but I thought you
The
lost
blue bag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
yeah.
I don't remember this.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of things that season.
Really?
Oh yeah, everyone was so lazy.
I don't know if any of the balls from the beginning of the year made it to the end.
No, none. I went through 2 within the 2 seasons because they just got stolen at Red Mountain.
Yeah.
Red Mountain.
Oh,
What about my
yeah.
my earplugs? No, whatever they are.
The ear tubes?
Ear tubes, yeah.
Yeah, you would get ear infections, and as soon as you get off the antibiotics, you get another ear infection. So we took you to go get ear tubes, and you did not do well with the anesthesia. I've never seen anybody so mad.
I was a screaming mess. I remember this. It was traumatic. They gave me a blue otter pop, and I was screaming till we got to the car. And I was finally gonna calm down and eat my otter pop, the thingy, and it got dumped onto the rocks because I was misbehaving, which just made me scream more.
How old were you?
They were probably like 3 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, you were
So they were really little.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe I remember this.
Mm.
It has
Yeah, it was-
survived 3 concussions.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say you learned from raising Josh and advice like other parents, like moms?
Well, one of the things, Taylor and his family has been one of the biggest influences in Josh's life during junior high. Taylor invited him to a camp that his church was going to, and Josh went. And I think, was it a high school camp you went to, or
It was
junior
high school.
high school? In junior high, Josh is a very black
I
and
was in
white
7th
thinker.
grade.
So he went to the high school camp with the older kids, and he's just, I think a lot of his life now reflects his walk with God, how it's gotten so much closer from the examples that have been in his life since that time. And another thing I would encourage parents to do real quick is just because, just thank them for it. They say, there's a saying that the days are long, but the years are short. And they are. But just treasure every moment, and just make the most of it. There was a scripture that my favorite one that I saw in Isaiah 40:11. He tends to his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arms and carries them close to his heart. He gently leads those who have young. So when I read that when I was a younger mother, it helped me remember who is following, who is leading me to raise him and his brother.
What about you, Mother? Same question.
What was the question?
I forgot. I'm just kidding.
Josh, what was the question?
What have you learned from being a mother, and what advice do you have for others? Also, by the way, she wanted like a Joe Biden cheat sheet with all the questions.
Yes, I did. I need to be prepared. I'm not quick. Jose, honey, is quick. You give him something or you tell him something and he's like, boom.
Yeah, but then afterwards he comes up with something else. After he thinks about it. He just talks with filler space. Not really, yeah.
I guess just be involved. Be very involved in your child's life. You don't know everything about them. You don't, as much as you think that you do, and that you've always been there, and there's a lot of stuff you don't know. So I just advise now, hindsight, like be nosy. Be nosy, be in your kid's business. As long as they're living under your household, like my husband says, it's a dictatorship. We are the ones that are in charge, and we are the ones that are going to set the rules. And then once you set the rules, make sure that you're firm and you stick to them.
It sounds like she found out. Sounds like she found out something she didn't know before.
No, but just in general with him as a mom and being involved with other youth, you just realize these things. And then to parents who aren't involved with their kids, I just recommend, like I said, be in their business. Be in their business, because sometimes you see these kids, this happens, and you're like, oh, we never saw that coming. Really? Where were you? Like, where were we? Or, so it's like, yeah. So be in their business. But definitely raise them to fear God, to have a, not fear God like, oh my gosh, he could just come down and zap us. I'm not saying he can't, but just have a healthy fear for God, because if you don't raise them like that, then we kind of end up where we're at now in the world. So if you have boys, raise men. Don't be raising boys. Raise your men to be men.
How common were mullets when you guys were growing up?
My best friend Erica had a mullet in 6th grade.
Bring mullets.
But I don't think when I was in high school, I don't think we had mullets when I was in high school.
When were you in high school?
I graduated in 1993, but I don't think that there was.
1900s.
Well, wait a minute. Lewis had a somewhat of a mullet.
Yeah.
And he graduated in 92, so maybe they were kind of there. But my best friend had the best mullet ever. So. And that was in 6th grade.
Do you ever think, man, one day my son's gonna have a mullet?
No, I still don't know. No.
Can't wait for it to cut off.
Yeah.
There's only a few people that can wear a mullet well, and Taylor is one of them. But I had a mullet when I was in 6th grade. We moved to California, and I thought they were the coolest things. And then
Oh, so you were in 6th grade with the mullet too?
Yeah.
Oh, then it must have been a thing in that.
But it wasn't so much. It wasn't so much. It was like my hair, lots of bangs, longer in the back.
Okay.
And then when I was an adult, I got my hair pixie cut with little wispies. And I went to go see my brother and sister, and they're like, Jen, you have a mullet. I was like, no, it's little wispies. They're like, no, business in front, party in the back. So we went and got another haircut.
My friend's was kind of like spiky. The top was like spiky, and then she had the long hair in the back.
Sounds like David's mullet.
Yeah, David got a mullet.
Mm-hmm.
David did it?
He got it into
He
a
looks
mullet.
really Italian right
It's
now.
really short right now, but he's already like slicking the sides back and letting the middle like be all curly.
Think of Italian
Yeah.
lobster
Uh-huh,
recipe.
I told him that he got a mullet because of me, and they're like, no, that's not why. But he did not deny that he was getting a mullet. So he's getting.
No, it is a mullet. It's just a
It
really
is.
short.
It's just a short one.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Cool.
Looks cool. Yeah. So yeah, what do you think of Josh's hair? Is it better short or like when it's like in his mouth?
I like it the way it is right now, where it's not just cut and super short. And I love to watch him do it because he like headbangs in front of the mirror and it's done. Whether it's really long or really short, yeah, that's it. And it's curly, so I prefer it this length so I can actually see his eyes when I talk to him. But he likes the longer hair, I think.
I
Yeah.
like it being in my eyes, but not my food. All the old teachers were like, cut it shorter, and all the younger teachers and all the students were like, don't cut your hair. Why'd you cut your hair?
Yeah.
Right. It's
You know how Apple has like those memories it makes of like your pictures, so they'll like put them in the slideshows. So I got one labeled Josh, and so I start watching it, and it's like short, okay, good, and then I'm like slowly as each picture, I'm like, no, Josh, it's too long. And you can tell it's like going from here, and it's like, it's like about here it was nice, and then it was like, nah, it's too much now.
well, you have 200
Little
pictures of
too
it,
long.
right?
Probably, yeah.
Awkward.
It's no, because I have
Yeah.
like 3,500 of Giovanna.
But he only has 50 of the next person.
Who's the next person?
I don't know. Probably not even 50.
Didn't Josh take a bet that if so many people came to like the youth
60.
night, he would get a mullet?
Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
been streaks of like the youth group gets really big, and I'm like, okay,
So,
60
no.
people this week.
But he specifically chose it during a time that we knew we were like on the down.
Well, no, one time we weren't. It almost hit it. We had like 50.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay, there's a lot of people. I'll do it this week. Thankfully, I'm sure there's some who sat in and they saved me. They did.
Nice.
So you didn't get a
Well,
mullet?
any closing comments for the last 20 seconds?
We love you guys. We're proud of you and grateful to be your moms.
Well, thank
Well
you for
said,
raising
Jen.
us
Yes.
you.
and making us, because then we wouldn't be here. So,
Oh yes. Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Josh, you ready for your sound? You should make it with your mom.
I make a random sound at the end. I think you know that, right?
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
I think his running sounds better. I mean, that's one I can hear.
that.